I'm doing good.
So, Kismet, what does it?
Yeah, first and foremost, thank you for inviting me to your podcast and the channel. And just to give you an idea, county assessor basically what they do is they evaluate or they collect the property taxes on businesses as well as commercial and residential property. So essentially, they access the properties, residential, commercial in the county.
So, what motivates?
Yeah, one of the things that I saw, I mean, California is one of the very rich state, and it is also very highest taxed state. But when we go and look into it, about it's also running in deficit. Basically, it's bankrupt. I mean, and if you go and see, 83% of the cities in California, they are basically running in deficit. And shocked and blown away to get that data. So I went and looked at, I was the county level and I figured out that a lot of the issues, even there at the county level. Looking at that, I thought, why is it like that? So when I looked into the detail, I figured out there are a lot of litigation, there are a lot of areas of improvement that could be done, especially the current assessor office has got multiple controversies, multiple legal lawsuits where millions of dollars of taxpayer funds have been paid to settle the claims of the accessor in the office. And when I looked, the person in the accessor office has been there for 32 years, and the next person who is running is somebody who is endorsed by the current accessor. I thought that there has to be a change. If nobody makes a change, then the cities and counties are going to run into the deficit. And the easiest thing that we see on the ballot is an increase in the tax. 2 years back, when I was trying to look into the city deficit, I figured out that the easiest thing that came on the ballot was a tax increase, and there was a 1% sales tax increase. When I go back and look at the ballot this year, there are three additional tax measures that are put on the ballot. So while I thought accountability and living in the means is very important, we need to look at the budget, we need to balance the budget. And that is the reason I thought I'll run for this role. At least I'll try to make sure that no city, no county is running in deficit. And the last thing, or we never want to go back and ask for additional taxes to the taxpayer. And that is the main motivation why I decided to take up this role and try to make a change, because 32 years is a pretty long period for anybody to be in that office. There has to be a constant change if you have to evolve in this fast moving digital world. And then I also figured out that the modernization is not done. So I thought, being in Silicon Valley, that is one of the area that really needed a change. Somebody has to be able to do anything and everything digitally, which was missing in the assessor office right now. And that's why I decided to run for this role.
So, Kismet, what sets you apart?
Yeah, so thank you for asking that question. One of the things that separates me is I have more than 25 years of modernization experience. I have more than 20 years of leadership experience. I started my business many years ago. It's been 18 years. I am running my own business, and I bootstrapped my business and started and ran it for 18 years and still running right now. So the leadership experience that I have is something that I see missing in both the candidates that are running against me for this role. The other thing is the digitalization experience is what is something that I don't see in the other candidates. And especially when you try to elect the same people and over again, you're going to get the same results. There has to be an improvement. We need different people to come in and make the change. And I'm not a career bureaucrat or a politician. So I think when you pick the same people, same appointees, then it's going to be pretty hard for anybody to see the change. So that way, I'm different in that sense as well. I'm an outsider. I'm running for a political office first time, and I plan to bring the business efficiency to the political office or the county.
Thank you. So, big hot button issues Contra Costa County right now. What
Yeah, as I spoke before, I am quite against raising taxes. And when I saw that happen, sales tax increase in San Ramon, where I have been there, by 1% increase and additional 2% increase, if we get this measure passed, right, measure B and measure G, you will be very well above 11% sales tax. And I think already California is a highest tax state. I've lived in other places and I've been getting the same features and everything pretty similar at far lower cost. So I'm quite opposed to both those measures, and it is extremely important that I think we have our government run within the means, and we have balanced budget, and we have folks in the office serious about doing that.
The last question I have for you today: why should Contra Costa voters elect you?
Well, if you look at the public trust that has been lost, where there are multiple litigations and multiple taxpayer dollars that have been paid towards settling the current assessor's claims. At the same time, if you look at the modernization piece, right, when I wanted to file an appeal, there is nothing that you could do online. You physically have to go to the office, you have to wait. I mean, the current assessments are taking anywhere between it's taking about 9 months to 18 months, and the California mandates for 2 years. So I think it's pretty long period of time that somebody has to wait to see what the tax bill would look like. So I'm planning to make sure that the appeals period is reduced drastically. I'm guessing it should be 4 to 6 months if I get elected. And other than that, there has to be a modernization. Now, in the digital age, especially with AI, everything has to be done digitally. Everything has to be done using digital technology and with the best tools. And being in Silicon Valley, if we are not doing that, then I think that is something is wrong with our office, or we need to fix that. Looking at some of those changes, I'm very confident, very hopeful that the cities, counties will be running with the similar tax dollar. There won't be additional tax measure on the ballot. Apart from that, I feel I'll do as much as possible to make sure that people get to know the tax bill. We'll organize a lot of town halls. We'll make sure that people, senior citizens, especially folks who are in military, right, veterans and stuff like that, they all get to understand the tax bill along with the common man. So I plan to have a lot of town hall meetings wherein people are invited to learn about the taxes, learn about the additional tax that they supplemental tax bills that they see sometime on their ballot or on the tax bill. And I plan to make sure that I'm accessible to any common man in the county, because it is extremely important. If we have the correct budget, the school, the cities in the county will be able to support the major important services like police, like schools, like libraries, and all the miscellaneous services like senior citizen centers and stuff like that. So I think while the culture of accountability, when it starts coming from the county, I'm sure the same will be percolated down to the cities. And that I feel will be a big change if I get elected to the office. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me on your channel, and thank you all for what you guys have been doing.
Best of luck with the race.
Thank you.